Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5. We'll discuss about the Myers-Briggs type theory. The Myers-Briggs type theory has a four material. First, basic concept of the Myers-Briggs type theory. Second, characteristic of the theory. Third, strengths and weaknesses. Fourth, application in counseling services at school and outside of school. First material is basic concept of the Myers-Briggs type theory. The history Myers-Briggs type indicator is based on C.G. Jung's 1921 until 1971 thought regarding perception, judgments, and attitude used by each different type of individual. Perception is an individual's psychological ability to be aware of things, people, and ideas. Judgment involves a variety of ways to infer what the individual has perceived. If people differ from each other when they perceive something, when they make judgment, then this difference also affects their interests, skills, values, and reactions. MBTI was created to study personality types based on Jung's theory. The definitions of MBTI is a psychometric questionnaire designed to measure a person's psychological preference for seeing the world and making decisions. The purpose of MBTI is to develop an expert system application to determine the type of work using the Myers-Briggs type indicator theorem using the forward chaining algorithm. The methodology of MBTI using by Unified Software Development Process Method or USDP. MBTI has a four thought scales. First, extrovert versus introvert. Our energy flow defines where we get energy or stimulation, is it from the outside or from the inside? Second, sensing versus intuition. How do we receive information refers to how we interact with information. Third, thinking versus feeling. How we decide something refers to how we choose something is based on logic or feelings. Fourth, judging versus perceiving. Do we prefer organized, plain, and more scheduled, or prefer a flexible, more comfortable, and open and relaxed environment? The kind personality in MBTI. There are 16 personality. There is ENFJ, extroverted feeling with intuiting, ENFP, extroverted intuiting with feeling, ENTJ, extroverted thinking with intuiting, ENTP, extroverted intuiting with thinking, ESFJ, extroverted feeling with sensing, ESFP, extroverted sensing with feeling, ESTJ, extroverted thinking with sensing, ESTP, extroverted sensing with thinking, ENFJ, introverted intuiting with feeling, ENFP, introverted feeling with intuiting, ENTJ, introverted intuiting with thinking, ENTP, introverted thinking with intuiting, ESFJ, introverted sensing with feeling, ESPF, extroverted feeling with sensing, ESTJ, introverted sensing with thinking, ESTP, introverted thinking with sensing. The benefits of MBTI, there are reducing unproductive work, identifying area of strength and possible areas of weaknesses for team, clarifying team behavior, helping to match specific task assignment according to preference, supplying a framework in which team members can understand and better handle conflict, helping individuals understand how different perspectives and methods can lead to useful and effective problem solving, maximizing a team diversity. Conclusions. The second material is characteristic of the theory. MBTI has an A characteristic. There are extrovert. The main energy driver is the environment, the outside world, or other people. Expressed emotional state and requires interpersonal relationship. Introvert. His main energy booster comes from within him, thoughts and reflections. Safe emotional state and needs solitude. Sensing, collect something through the five senses. See something detailed and specific, prefer to handle practical things. Intuition. See something in patterns and relationships. Prefer to imagine imaginative possibilities and like a variety of change. Thinking. Make decisions based on objective and logical consideration, run something based on logic, and strong in planning and analysis. Feeling. Decide by heart, do something based on personal beliefs, strong in understanding and others. Judging. A plain and orderly lifestyle, enjoy the conditions that have been determined, feel comfortable in defined and boundary situations, and perceiving. A lifestyle that is flexible, spontaneous, and adaptable. Love freedom in life and feel comfortable in open situations. The third material is Strengths and Weaknesses. The strengths in MBTI there are designed to implement theory, so Young's theory must be understood to be understand MBTI. Based on theory, there are spatial relationship dynamics between scales which will then lead to explanation of the 16 types of personality characteristics. The description of these types and their theory can actually be explained in terms of human development throughout his life. The scales pays attention to basic human function, namely perception and judgment that always exist in human behavior, so it's very useful for use in everyday life. And the last is, the result of the MBTI are non-judgmental, so there is no good or bad. The weaknesses in MBTI, there are the Myers-Briggs type theory, pays less attention to individual difference so that it will affect the MBTI test result. Second, even though this theory is enduring, the validity of MBTI test is questionable. Third, individuals are more required to have their own intentions without seeing other supporting factors in their environment. Fourth, the result of MBTI tests are static, only oriented to the result of the MBTI test. And the last is, individuals tend to feel compelled by their choice. The last material is application in counseling services at school and outside of school. The application counseling in school, there is knowledge of this personality type is an important component for an educator to understand student characteristics. Based on this understanding, educators can understand that differences are natural. Educators can only also identify strengths and things that can be developed by students and can motivate them based on their personality characteristics. In counseling services, namely MBTI is very useful in the world of education and career development. The MBTI can be used as a guide for choosing a college major to a profession that suits your personality, as well as personal development. With MBTI, we can understand our strengths as well as our own weaknesses. The application outside of school, there is in everyday life, it is necessary to know that this theory can be useful for identifying the personalities of other individuals, making it easier for us to determine our attitudes and behavior to them so that a good flow of communication occurs. The main reason for the popularity of this MBTI instrument is it is relevant to various fields such as education, career development, organizational behavior, group function, team development, personal and executive training, individual, partner, and family psychotherapy, and in the context of multi-characteral interaction. That is our discussion about the Myers-Briggs type theory. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you!